Like all important endeavors in human history, we start this one by creating a free Gmail account. There's some free advertising in Google. So if you already know how to create a free Gmail account, just go do it. Skip this video. Don't waste your life. If you don't, good skill to know. We literally just go and Google, use both their products. Google free Gmail, create an account, right? We get to here. And we're going to create one for the company. We need an account that we can sign up for a Zoho CRM demo in. So let's make it for Debbie Money. It's the name of our client. And we're going to make it affluence financial planning at gmail.com. Password is going to be my super secret password. See, it's just so secret. Hey, I got it. Okay, you obviously won't be able to get this one. Sorry. Make it whatever you want. It won't give you a phone number or recovery email address. And then you can say when you were born. I was born in April 18th, 1901. It's a great year. We were really, really, really excited about baseball having been invented that year. So, yeah, I'll tell you all about it later. So now we have a Gmail account. Having created a free Gmail account, you are now a Zoho expert. So now let's go create a Zoho One trial. Say Zoho One trial. First thing that comes up, your name is Debbie Money. The company is Affluence Financial Planning. Again, this might or may not work as other students are using this name to create demo accounts. We have 1 to 5 employees. This is Google Voice number 6. There we go. Our email is affluencefinancialplanning@gmail.com. Our password is again super, super, super secret. Get started now. Creating our account. So let's talk about Zoho One and why we're using this rather than signing up for a Zoho CRM trial. As we work on this account, we are going to be doing a heck of a lot more than just CRM. We're going to start with Zoho CRM, but we're going to be using other Zoho apps. Zoho One gives you access to all of those. So that's why we're using Zoho One. Go ahead and for now, just click sales on this checkbox right here. And you see it's going to be adding certain apps that it wants you to use. That's totally fine. Just click continue. We'll walk through this a little bit more. It's asking you to add users. You obviously don't need to do that right now. So we'll say we'll do later. And go ahead and skip the product tour. You're going to get a better product tour from me down the line. So now your Zoho One is set up. The thing we need to do here that is pretty much done for us, we just need to do 1 or 2 other things, is Zoho One is kind of the umbrella unit. Zoho apps are added to a Zoho account. Right now we have a CRM account that's added, and we also are going to be using Zoho Forms in just a second. So go ahead and click Add Applications and search for Zoho Forms. And it's been created and we can now access that. Now, if you go to User Home up here, it will show us all of the applications that we have access to, and you can just click on Zoho CRM. There we go. Now, the one thing I need you to make sure you do is it's going to bring up this info. That's great, but make sure you unselect load sample data because we don't want you to load in their samples. I have samples I already want you to work with. So make sure to uncheck that box, click Get Started. And the last thing I want you to do is go back to your Zoho One admin and go ahead and bookmark this tab. Add it to your bookmarks bar because we're going to be using it a lot. You can just go to one.zoho.com if you are good at typing in URLs, getting directed to stuff. But if you like having a bookmark, always good to bookmark it. Welcome to your castle, my future squires and princes and princesses. Let's take a look at what you're looking at. Well, it's kind of confusing. There's no data in here. There's a lot of jumbled info. Let me show you a demo account to kind of get you acquainted, and then we're going to spend some time cleaning this sucker up. So I'm looking at a demo account right now, and I want to talk first about the idea of modules. This is the fundamental unit in Zoho CRM, really, really important high-level thing to understand. These tabs in the top, these are modules that you're working with. A module, think of it like a bucket. It's a bucket that information is getting sorted into. Filing cabinet might be a better way of phrasing that. Businesses don't usually put their data in buckets, but filing cabinets, you do file someone's file into there. So this is a digital filing cabinet. We're saying all of our businesses' leads, right, potential customers, are getting sorted into this filing cabinet. We have their first name, their last name, what their status is, a company they might be working with, right? Where they came from, when they were created, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the idea of a module, right? Is one filing cabinet, but there's differences between them. The four we're going to focus on are leads, accounts, contacts, and deals. And you can kind of see the difference here, right? A contact is a person, their name, email, phone, favorite color, et cetera. An account is info about the company that they might work at, right? The name of the company, how many employees work there, the billing address of the company. A deal is info on a contract that you're looking to secure with them, the business deal that you have going on. How much money are we talking? What are the odds that we close it? Are there any documents we need that we've discussed that they've faxed to us, right? So this information, it's all different types, right? You have different fields that you're gathering info on, and they all belong in a disparate bucket, which is a module. If a module is a filing cabinet, then what are the files? Well, the files are records. Each row that you see in here is an individual record that we are working with. So let's go ahead and click on our boy, Peter Testington. So this is the inside of a record in Zoho CRM. And think of it this way. We're in the leads filing cabinet, and we've pulled out this little digital manila folder of Peter Testington. What information do we have on him? Well, his title is Duke, very important. Duke Peter Testington. Do not mess that up. We have his phone number, looks totally legit. Everyone has a 13-digit phone number. We have the email, websites, where he came from, what you've attempted, which owner or which user created the record, when was it last modified. And then, I mean, address info, it can go on and on. We'll talk about gathering information in these fields, but this is an individual lead record, right? So every module, every module has many records that you're working with. Maybe a better example would be to think of them as rows in an Excel spreadsheet, right? The spreadsheet is a list of all of our leads, and all of the rows are each lead that we're working with. Now you understand, we have the bottom of the pyramid is a module, right? That's where the filing cabinet, where all the data is stored. Then we have a record, right? And a record is a manila folder in that module filing cabinet. Now let's talk about the final little subsection of information, and that is a field. So this is creating a new record in the leads module, right? Create a lead. And so this is the record. And what is that record comprised of? Well, it's comprised of fields. Fields are individual little shreds of information that you keep about a record, right? So leads is a great example. What information are we gathering? Well, we're gathering their first name, Peter Testington III, and his company, right? The Crown. Now, this all begs the question. Put on your 5-year-old inquisitive, quizzical hat and ask me, where do records come from, Dad? Well, first off, ask your real parents if you want to know the true origin of these leads. But if we're talking about where the data comes from, there's a few good answers to that. The first is you can just manually add it, right? Let's say you just have someone that you know of. So in this top right screen, you like add a lead. And you can just type in their data, right? Peter Testington III, and his email is peter@uk.com, right? That doesn't really make sense. UK is not an American company, but whatever. So now you see that really easy to manually create a lead. And you can do that from two spots in Zoho CRM. You can do it either from the list view right here, this plus button, or from this plus button in the top right. You can create any of the records for any module. So that's nice and easy, but it's a more important question. Where do these leads come from? Well, I made a nice little chart going over it. Think about it. They could be a form on your website, right? Contact us for financial planning information, and a lead's going to show up. You can have an Excel spreadsheet. We talked briefly about that, right? You have an Excel spreadsheet of all your leads. There's 74 rows, each with a first name, last name, and an email. We can actually import those. I'll show you how to do that. There's a really cool app that Zoho has for free that lets you just scan a business card and it finds their name, last name, phone, email, right? Maybe they send you an email. And then there's a few cool ways to get those people in there. Maybe they called on the phone and you add them. So record entries are coming at all times for a business that's in motion, right? You're meeting people, you're talking to people, you're signing contracts, just all this data is flowing through. And normally it either ends up stuck in your email inbox, stuck in an Excel spreadsheet, or if you're really, really archaic, stuck on actual pieces of paper. Where this gives you the option to really, really organize and sort things into these different module buckets. All right, I mentioned earlier that the 4 modules that we're going to deal with the most are leads, contacts, accounts, and deals. So let's spend some time talking about each of those individually. I'm going to start by talking about the accounts module. We've already spent a little bit of time on leads. The accounts module is very, very similar to leads. It is the contact information of an actual human being. So right here, we are tracking a person's contact info, right? Their first name, their last name, their company that they're working at, their email, right? Peter@companyx.com, and their phone number. So that is really, really straightforward. Just what an account is. It's a human being. The accounts module, even simpler than contacts. A contact works at a company, right? The accounts module might as well be called companies. This is a group of companies that we are working with. So the account name might be the Charlotte Bobcats, and they might have industry they are in. Okay, it doesn't have basketball as a default industry, but you get it. Their annual revenue is $150 million, right? And they have 300 employees. So this is an actual company that you are doing business with. One of the main values in having an account is that when we create a contact, we can say that Michael Jordan works at, where does he work? The Charlotte Bobcats. I know, it's the Hornets now. Let's pretend we live in 2004. And then we also, let's say, have, who's even a famous Bobcats player? Gerald Wallace. Oh yeah, remember that? Remember that, my friends? And he works also at the Charlotte Bobcats. And then if we click save, you'll see that under the accounts record, we have 2 contacts that work there. So again, the main idea of the accounts module is that you might be doing business with one account and have more than one person that you're working with at that account. A deal is just that, a business deal that you are having, right? You are in talks right now with the Charlotte Bobcats to do all the financial planning for their company, for all their employees. That's a lot of money, and we want to track that. We want to say, all right, what do we need to talk to Michael Jordan about? Is he worried about price? Is he worried about whether we'll be able to fulfill on this? We track all of that information in this deal record, right? So let's say that this is financial planning for the Bobcats. We're planning on closing this deal at the end of August before the season starts. Again, the account is the Charlotte Bobcats. That's the company we're working with. We'll talk a lot more about stages in another video, but we break a deal into different stages, right? And then we'll say it's for 550. Is that 5 million? That's 5 million right there. And we'll click save. Another important thing to know about deals, again, is that you may do business with the same company more than once, right? That's why we like storing in its separate deal record, because we might do multiple deals. We might do financial planning for the Bobcats 1 year, and then the next year, maybe we sell them a financial planning course. Two different deals, but they're all with the Bobcats, and they're two different deal records. All right, you're probably asking yourself, where the heck do leads come in? Leads sound a lot like all of these modules. They sound kind of redundant. It's a little confusing. It'll definitely take you some time to chew on the differences and learn where leads fit in, but let's take some time to talk about it. A lead turns into, at a certain point, a contact, deal, and account. It's a process called conversion. A lead gets converted once it's qualified into a contact, an account, and a deal. Let's talk through that process a little bit. So we have Marty McFly at the DeLorean company that we're working with, right? So let's say that we got his business card at a networking event, and he said, yeah, I'd love to do some financial planning. And you said, let's talk. You call him and he doesn't answer. And then you call him a month later and he doesn't answer. Then maybe you call him 3 months later and Marty says, oh, I remember you. Yeah, we're actually definitely still interested in that. I'd like to do maybe $10,000 worth of financial plans for my 15 employees. Well, what's the difference then? Where is he a lead and where is he a contact, account, and deal? Well, the idea here is that during those 3 months where we had his contact info, but we hadn't really established contact with him, we didn't know exactly what he wanted, how much money, how excited and ready he was. He lives in the leads module. He's just prospective business that might happen down the road, right? Then as soon as we get to talking with him and he says, I'm down to do business in the next 2 months, $10,000 worth. I work at the DeLorean company. Here's my email. Here's my assistant's number, et cetera, et cetera. We call that qualified, right? He's now ready to do business with us, and he's actually going to get converted into a contact, account, and deal. We'll cover that in the next video, but I think it's important for you to understand that idea. The lead houses info about all of these three records, right? We have company info, contact info, potential deal information. But then as soon as Marty McFly decides, I'm ready to go, I'm interested, I want to do business, the lead turns into these three records. Understanding where leads fit into Zoho CRM usually takes a little while to understand. It's kind of hard to marinate in your brain, takes a few weeks. Hopefully the following will be crystal clear, right? We just had the example of Marty McFly saying, hey, I know it's been 3 months since talking with you, but I'm interested. I want to do $10,000 worth of business with you, et cetera, et cetera. At that moment, he's a lead, but at that moment, we're going to click this convert button in the top right. And you can see Zoho CRM says, okay, create a new account, create a new contact, and we'll say create a new deal for how much? Well, he said $10,000 and he's interested in doing business the next 2 months. So it'll close on June 30th, right? And here we're looking at, when we click convert, you will see that he has now been turned into 3 different records. What was once just a lead is now an account, DeLorean, the company that Marty works at, a contact, Marty McFly. This is all of his contact info. You can see it's linked to this account record, and a deal for $10,000 with the DeLorean company with Marty McFly. Final interesting thing to take note of is that if you go to leads, Marty McFly is now gone. He's passed on. He's graduated from lead status into a contact, an account, and a deal. So that's an important distinction to make. A lead only is a lead until they've been qualified, until we have an idea of, all right, we're doing this business with them. Once they're done, they're done. They've moved on. We track them in these 3 modules rather than keeping them here because this info is kind of redundant. It's been split into these 3 modules. All right, I think it's high time that we start filling our CRM with some sample data. I want you to create 3 lead records. So this is for a financial planning company, again, Affluence Financial Planning. So let's go ahead and create 3 leads for them. If you know how to do it, if you remember how, skip this video. If you want a reminder, let's take a few seconds and go through it. So again, you just click plus in this top right over here. It's going to bring up this view. Don't worry about filling out this whole lead with a ton of information. We're just going to do the most important fields: first name, last name, email, company. So we will say this is Peter Moneymaker, and he works at IG Banking, and his email is peter@igbanking.com. Great. You can click this Save and New button, and we'll bring up a new lead. So we'll make Marty McFly. Where did he end up working again? I forget. We'll just say DeLorean, but I know he worked some dead-end job in Back to the Future too. That's hard to remember. And for his email, we'll say McFly at make like a tree and leaf.com. And then we will do Michael Jordan. His company is the team he's most famous for playing for, the Washington Wizards. And his email is mj@ihave6rings.com. Great. If you click save right there, click on the leads module up here, you'll see that we now have 3 records in our CRM. Again, think of it kind of like an Excel spreadsheet. We have 3 rows in our spreadsheet. We have 3 records in our module, 3 manila folders in our filing cabinet. All right, if you feel comfortable with lead conversion, then go ahead and skip this video. If you want to walk through it one more time, then we'll click on Peter Moneymaker. We will click convert. And again, it's going to say create new account, create new contact, and create new deal. Here you need to fill out the amount that the deal is going to be for and the potential closing date when that deal is going to be done. So I want you to click convert. And now take some time clicking through contacts module to see the new contact that was created, the accounts module to see the new account that was created, and the deals module to see the new deal that was created. And I need you to now convert 1 or 2 of your leads just to get a feel for how that lead conversion process looks. And then go back and look at your leads module and see that Peter is no longer there, right? He's been converted. Okay. If you feel comfortable with creating a contact, an account, and a deal, then go ahead and do so. Skip this video right now. Don't listen to me talk. If you want help walking through it, let's take some time. So again, we go to the top right of the screen. We click plus new contact. And let's say that Debbie Money is just talking with one of her former clients that is interested in doing some business right now. And this client's name is Mac Wilson, and we will create his account in a second. But now we have Mac Wilson, and let's go ahead and add an email, mac@wilsonelectronicstudios.com. Perfect. Now we go to the accounts module. We can click the add new account. We'll call this Wilson Electronic. Forgot the name. Wilson Electronic Components. I'm a mess. I forgot the name in 10 seconds. I'm a freaking goldfish. And we'll say that their annual revenue is $1.5 million. Great. And now let's say that Debbie is in talks with Mac Wilson about getting a financial plan done for their 10 employees. So we'll say that this is financial planning for Mac's employees. We're thinking that it might close on May 31st, and we're working with the Wilson Electronic Components Company. And we're looking at $10,000, 10,000 big ones. So there you go. You've created now a record in each of these modules. And if you click on them on these top tabs, you'll see we have leads, contacts, accounts, and deals. So we're starting to fill some information out. A couple small cleanups that I think will really help this thing feel more navigable for you. They're very, very simple. Zoho comes inbuilt with 3 different view options for how you want to view your records in a module. There is Canvas view, which we'll talk about in an advanced class. It's really free form, lets you pick and choose which fields show up. I don't have very many clients that end up using it. They don't really have a need for it. So I usually just skip talking about Canvas view. There's Kanban view. The idea here is that you see which stages different records are in, and you can drag them between stages. Again, haven't found a lot of clients that really are that interested in that. Almost everything we go over is in this tabular view. So make sure that in any module you're looking at, click on tabular view. You do have to change this once when you first create an account. It might default to Canvas view. You'll just need to click on tabular view on each of these modules, and then it will remember that. And that's what we'll be working with for the whole entirety of this course.